We are a team of 18 riders taking on the entire route of the Tour de France, raising money for Cure Leukaemia. Well, it's something that we've been doing for years actually, doing the tour itself as a challenge. Started doing first time in 2005. It was 6 months after I went into remission from a form of leukemia, and it was a great work of Charlie Craddock, who set up the charity Cure Leukaemia, who saved my life. Well, it is going to be my 5th attempt at doing every single mile of it, so looking forward to it. Doing Tour 21 is hopefully going to raise over £1 million. That's a long way to funding the great work that's going on. From today, we're a team. We do everything together. We look after each other, survive and get into Paris.
Just think about how you're going to get to the first stop, then the next stop, and then the next stop, and then that's day one done. We just got to do that for 21 days.
Everybody to be safe and just love every single minute.
I don't think anybody has done anything of this scale, right?
This is off the scale for me.
6'3", 108 kg. I'm not your typical rider.
It is unknown for me. I'm not a cyclist.
It's a long 21 days and I just want to be in Paris.
So we stopped waiting for a fellow who's dropped a bolt out the bottom of his saddle.
I had a fairly eventful first few days.
Oh, well done. The guys have done extremely well.
10 minutes in, I lost a bolt out my saddle.
About 10 k's in now. It's just outside the official start.
This stage was hard. Yeah, almost done this.
50k in, I had my first puncture in 7 years.
Here we go.
And then 20 kilometres from the end, a group of 4 of us with one of the ride captains took the wrong turn.
We're about 40 miles from the end and my Garmin died. Nightmare.
We ended up doing 227 kilometres on the first day as opposed to the 206. So it was welcome to the Tour 21.
First day, I probably burnt a few matches too soon.
Stinger of a start.
A baptism of fire is probably a good description.
I have to say the one thing I've learned so far is when they talk about flat stage in the Tour de France, there's no such thing. Flat stages aren't flat.
I enjoyed a little stretch of the legs through the day on the Mur, and then a little solo TT effort to the finish behind the car, which was quite fun. Felt like I was almost pro.
And one of the riders, unfortunately, is out on his front, on his own, and he's not sharing that wonderful teamwork we got with the other 17.
Thought I was getting lonely at the front of the group yesterday, so thought I needed some company. He just chose a filing cabinet that he declared I should carry around on the front of my bike to look down and remind me of the team behind.
I was a bit worried after stage 1.
The first stage I was really struggling with.
How much longer? 20 miles?
28.
28?
Remember you had that little bit at the start?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I was in a pretty dark place at one point, definitely questioning my life choices.
Don't think about it, man. Just relax.
Let's do the last 43
Don't get upset.
Let's stay together. Let's try to stay together.
Not at all.
Hoping properly nice things and then
yeah. You get a rub down tonight, you stretch well, you hydrate, you'll feel good tomorrow. Yeah.
So we're all feeling good?
Yeah.
Just under
downhill from here, right?
So my dad says it's all downhill except for the uphill bit. In the bar.
Sort of mentally ticking that one off set me up well for the next stage.
The first day I felt jaded, to be honest, the last probably 20 miles. Second day felt stronger. Third day again felt stronger, and it's just that progression of finding your legs gives you confidence.
It's nice to see or feel that my body is starting to kind of come into the tour. The first day I found really challenging.
Yes, cheers.
Tired.
Conserve your energy. I always say this, cycling is as much about saving energy as it is about using it.
It's a big thing in cycling. Don't waste your energy. Conserve it, save it, save it, save it, save it, save it.
Lose your riders. This rider comes along and then
pulling in, and so on and so forth. And that way you're keeping the pace up. Keeping the pace up.
Saving energy.
And then after that you eat all the jellymen.
My Garmin suggested 5 days.
5 days recovery. I turn all that shit off. I've turned the thing that tells you you're not in good condition off. It's all nonsense.
So I've got the CRX compression tights on.
Nice. Already starting the recovery.
Already starting the recovery. Yeah, get these on for 6 hours. Should be right as rain tomorrow.
The camaraderie has been really good. They gel so well. You know, they're all encouraging.
We've got a team that's really gelling and building.
The riders are really supportive as well. They know that I'm less experienced in the peloton, and they're offering out advice, and makes me feel kind of like welcomed in there. Right? It's quite scary though.
It's a really strong team. Very, very inspiring to be part of it.
I'm well known for taking the pee out of everybody, and Jeff and I, the banter between us, I think is already well known.
Put your Garmin in someone's pocket and just jump in.
Nick riding with 18 Garmins.
At the end of the ride today, we bumped into Team Ineos. The full crew were there.
That is just brilliant. That is just, couldn't get better.
No, it's amazing really, yeah.
Perfect timing, eh?
Yeah, it's really good.
It was just an incredible experience to see their setup, which wasn't dissimilar to ours, to be honest. Really is the real tour experience for us.
They've laid on such an amazing event here. The support people, all the food, massages, everything has just been basically like being part of a pro team. So 5 in, it's 5-star. I did have a mechanical, or to be more specific, a puncture.
I could have fixed it, but wanted them to have a little something to do.
Probably done in under 2 minutes. And I'm not going to say what my record is, but I think 15 minutes is a decent go for me. So.
The landscape has been magnificent. Riding through the rolling hills of Brittany have been really, really special.
Going through these stunning villages, looking at these beautiful vistas, incredible scenery. Just the joy that the tour brings to France, the way the villagers wake up, it's just a sensational experience, and that's it. It's just France at its best, Tour de France.
We've got some tough days coming up, really tough days coming up.
It's going to start getting real soon, but so far I'm feeling really fresh.
I've got no idea what to expect when I hit the mountains.
The climbs that we're going to be doing, nobody will find them easy, however good you are.
It's going to be difficult and I'm going to be slow, and I know that, but as long as I get to the top, I don't care really.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for everybody, you know, myself included. I'm no superstar by any means.
The last 3 stages of cycling have been the hardest stages of my life.
I think we've all pushed ourselves beyond anything we imagined and anything we've ever done before.
Started going uphill.
It just built and built and built.
Logic tells you that it's a really stupid thing to do. There's no sense to it, but you've got to do it.
Who cycles through a ski resort? Must be mad.
I mean, I think all of us have had points at which we've questioned our life choices.
Stage 6, 160k, French flat, 1 categorised climb, which is 2k long, 2.9 incline.
Can't remember what stage 6 was. I think that was a flat day.
Stage 6, where even was that? What was stage 6?
We're just discussing what we saw in the last 40k.
And it was the back of Nick's wheel, the back of Hayden's wheel, the back of Gary's wheel, the back of Steve's wheel, the back of Rob's wheel.
What happened on stage 6? That was the day before the long one.
We all took that pretty easy because we knew what was coming up, which was like the behemoth of a stage, the 250-kilometer one.
Day 7 today, we've got quite a long one. It's the longest stage in the Tour for over 20 years.
7 was the long day.
They don't get much tougher than longer than that. Just getting to lunch took forever.
It's very quiet, everyone's a little bit apprehensive about what's to come this afternoon.
Today, I do want to get it out of the way. I just want it out of the way. Simple as that, get it done. Move on.
And then afterwards it got grippy, we had a lot of climbing to do.
Well, I think that was the hardest climb we've seen so far since we started out in Brest. I think it's category 2. I heard people talking about category 2.
So we've got 5 categorised climbs. You've got a Cat 4, which is the easiest, obviously. You've got Cat 3, 2 and 1.
That was a category 3. Excellent. So that wasn't even a category 2, and I know we've got one of those to come. But
The penultimate climb had a good 2 kilometers at 13 to 18% grade, where you just couldn't even sit down and pedal. You were going up a wall.
I've had shorter days on the bike.
Massage, lovely, yeah, really. It's like one of those like couples massage where it's nice and soft, it's just enjoyable. Yeah, just relaxing.
Yeah, I think everybody before the tour started was looking at this day as being one that they weren't looking forward to. I think everybody looks like they survived, and I think, yeah, credit to everybody. It shows that they put all the work in. Next day was yesterday, was it? Was it? Oh, was it not?
The strangest thing about it is every day it gets tougher and you forget entirely what you did yesterday.
Was that not yesterday?
No, that was the day before.
Bloody hell. Was it?
Just rolls on and on and on. It's just relentless.
Probably the most nervous of everyone here. This is a bad place for me.
Got one of the worst climbs for me personally. I'm dreading it, and that's Col de Colombier. I had the worst day out ever. Everything went wrong on the Col de Colombier. I worked too hard on the first 2 climbs, thought I was a cycling genius. The heat got high, the legs got slow, and the first half a kilometre, I knew from then on it was game over.
It's going to be a better day today. Better day. The sun is shining.
The bit that I'm probably most apprehensive with is descending. There's not many mountains in Kent, so no, I haven't had a great opportunity to do many mountains.
That's probably the one thing that you just don't have zero exposure to in the UK. The descents are crazy, like some of them drag on for half an hour.
I descended with Richard, and he was like, "Where did you learn to descend?" And I'm like, "I haven't really. This is my first time on mountains."
The hairpins in particular I'm finding quite challenging. They're pretty technical. Trying to get the breaking point right in terms of the hairpin, trying to get the line, obviously trying not to swing out too much because you don't know what's coming around the other side. It's very scary, very scary.
I felt absolutely terrible at the top of the second to last climb. I had to have a sit down, poured water over my head. Did not think I could keep going. Everyone was really supportive. I had a banana, popped a gel halfway up the Colombier, and I ended up making it to the top. That was a massive sense of accomplishment.
It's strangely cathartic going back over the same road. But having had 18 months to prepare for it, it all came together. The ride was actually really nice, and yeah, honestly guys, ride Colombia is just great.
Then yesterday was, I would say, exceptionally brutal.
I've never experienced anything like it. It was just brutal.
Pushed myself as far as it could go yesterday.
You know, we started off, I think, around about 8:30 in the morning, and I don't think we arrived here until about 8:30 in the evenings.
There were 2 Cat 1s and 1 uncategorized climb, or out of category climb rather.
And then for some of the mountains that are considered to be really, really special and really, really tough, you've got a whole category climb, which is out of category.
You know, the Haute category climb up Col de Pré, I have words for that which I probably shouldn't use here.
I try to stay calm. I talk to myself. I kind of say, look, you're fine. Your heart rate's been at this rate before. Your legs are turning over. You have water. You can kind of talk yourself out of all of that negative. Oh my God, this is so painful. I don't want to be doing this anymore.
You go to some places you don't want to go to. You have a lot of time to think, and you have good thoughts and bad thoughts.
If you don't kind of keep in the moment and get carried away with what's going on around you, it can be overwhelming and a bit daunting. You know, I caught myself a couple of times looking at the size of the mountains thinking, what on earth have I got in front of me here?
You just get the joy of seeing this amazing landscape that we have. And that's what keeps coming back. I want to be there, I want to ride because I get all of this when I get there.
We all know the reasons why we're here, both from a personal point of view, but also for the charity's point of view. That spurs me on.
If you look on my bike, you'll see a picture of my dad because my dad died of leukemia. Pretty awful at the end. So when I'm up the mountains and my legs are screaming and my lungs are coming through my ears, and I look down and realise what he went through, and you know, it's nothing in comparison.
The pain that we're going through is nothing compared to what people are going through, suffering through with leukemia. So it's bearable from that perspective.
This little boy, I know, called Hugo, he's battling leukemia at the moment, and I know he's been following our training, and he would want us to get up that climb. He's going to be wanting to see us do it, and there's no way I was going to let him down.
Those are the days you remember. You never remember those days with a tailwind and there was 7 of you and you're just tapping along and it was easy. You remember these days. They'll look back on yesterday's stage and think, that was the one that, you know, I'm proud that I made it through.
I think that's where the stories are all made, you know. These guys aren't cyclists. A few of them are doing it because it is the pure challenge of it. Watching them go through the turmoil of fulfilling the day, it just inspires you. But I go back to one spot, the Galibier, back in 2005. It's like yesterday. It's a moment in my life that I'll never forget, and it's a magical moment, a painful moment, but that's what life's all about, you know, with the line between pain and enjoying yourself to the tops is such a fine, fine line.
Sometimes you just need some fuel.
Sometimes we need an extra bottle.
Sometimes our bikes don't work.
Sometimes you just need a proper rub down.
Sometimes we need a bit of extra encouragement.
The support team have been absolutely incredible. There's no way any of the riders could get through such a challenge as this without all the different component parts of the support team.
Everything from nutrition to hydration to bike mechanics to laundry, catering, they've all been absolutely first class.
We are providing the lunches for all the cyclists and the rest of the crew. We are cyclists ourselves. We can sympathise with the riders. We know what it is that they like, what they need.
The quality of what they're delivering every day, under really tough circumstances. It's amazing.
Whilst we're travelling to the end of the day hotel, Sue is already preparing the lunch menu in the van. Then she does the shopping list. Then we source a laundrette. Our favourite job is washing up. We've got a very nice bathroom in our rooms. It is all very sanitised. It is all very hot water and very clean. Our job never ends. It's full on, but we love it. Otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Halfway through the day, seeing ladies Carl and Sue, gives you a lift.
I think we must be doing something right, because I would say every one of them has come up and said thank you for a lovely lunch.
We have 4 ride leaders. It's Simon, Mark, Steve and Andy who are on the road with us.
So primarily responsible for the safety of everybody that's involved with the ride, making sure that we all get from A to B each day in a safe fashion. The main thing, of course, is trying to keep the group as compact as possible. We've got quite a wide range of ability levels riding this.
When the days are more rolling, flatter, it's easier for us guys to sort of keep things together a little bit and keep the group as one, and to make it easier for everybody. On the mountain days, it splits up a lot more, so you've got slightly different abilities.
If it's a climbing day, I'm not the best climber. I tend to be towards the back. Somebody is always there, which is fantastic.
Again, just to help people in different ways to descend and climb and give them the confidence to do that, and to, look after them as we're meant to do.
At last climb yesterday, Mark, one of the ride leaders, stayed with me, and he was able to find the kind of least steep bit of the climb and keep me going until we got to a flatter bit where everyone could just spin their legs, which was fantastic. I don't think I would have gotten up that climb without him.
A lot of these guys are new to the sport and they are learning every day. They're always constantly asking us for bits of advice and that sort of stuff. We're more than happy to help them in any way we can and to help them through this fantastic challenge.
For everything to work as a team, we all have to gel together. Nothing more important than when we go onto a day like Ventoux to get all the riders working together, to get all the team leaders riding together, to get the crew working together, and just gel as one big entity for the whole day.
Right, this is a pretty tough test today. It's really, really important that you ride within yourselves in the first part of the stage today.
Having gone through the things we went up, I looked at Ventoux and I thought, well, I don't know why people think it's so bad.
First time at Ventoux is 22 kilometers at an average about 5%, which is pretty manageable.
The gradient didn't look too bad. I mean, it's a long climb, but we've done it before, so it seemed okay.
The second time is about 15 kilometers, about 8%. You want to save your legs for that.
207 kilometres, 4,681 metres of elevation.
2 different sides in one day is going to be a big task, so just keep grinding away.
We're nervous and we're going to be riding towards it all day, so you just see what's coming at you.
Just got to remember we're very, very tired. It's going to be a big team effort today to get rid of it.
We're at lunch now. This afternoon we're doing 2 ascents and descents of Mont Ventoux. So we've had a couple of category climbs this morning already. I've got to say it's been pretty tough because the weather is hot. So personally I feel sort of pretty tired already. A little bit worried given that I've struggled this morning, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I've just got to grind it out, you know, pedal after pedal and see how we go.
Went up the first time and I thought, well, it's okay. I mean, the first way around, not too bad at all.
As you come out of the forest at the top, you hit the sort of more lunar, barren landscape, which it's famous for. But what happens then is it really goes steep and the wind really whips over the top of the mountain.
And then you hit this wall of wind and oh my God.
The Alps are just steady, the long, hard, hot days, but yesterday, it's just the wind just added another element.
And the wind has just got up so much, and second half, blimey.
You can't imagine how horrendous the headwinds are. One was the track stand once, it hit me that hard.
It's hard to describe what it's like going up a climb when you've almost got the brakes on.
The winds are so strong, it's just concentrating on staying upright.
You were fighting the wind as much as you were fighting the gradient.
Just clinging onto the handlebars. This wind is battering you, it's trying to push you onto the rocks, it's trying to push you into the middle of the race.
You obviously
goes past the monument to Tommy Simpson, who was once upon a time a fine cyclist.
He was a legend in British cycling, and you know, he lost his life doing something that he loved.
It's a pretty poignant thing to be going past tomorrow, British cycling tours.
Most people stop and drop one of these off. It's a mark of respect to cycling history and of years gone by.
There's a massive reason we're all here, and so we're all going to be thinking about people that might not be around anymore.
You know, just stopping there and with a memorial there and paying respects is something that it was a privilege to do.
The pain is unbelievable in your legs. The back pain was excruciating as we got sort of 10 kilometres up the 18-kilometre climb.
You know, you forget sometimes how painful it is.
For everyone, no matter how fast you go up, the pain is still the same. And I think there's an adage that my hero Greg LeMond says that it don't get any easier, you just go faster. So the pain is still the same whether you finish first at the top or last at the top.
Mont Ventoux was just an incredible experience, absolutely mind-blowing really, and it's the stuff that cycling dreams are made of.
It's this kind of mythical mountain in cycling, and you can see why.
It's such a dramatic icon of cycling, whether it's exhaustion or elation or something like that. I've just found the whole thing just incredibly emotional.
And it was the people that have been supporting all the way through, messages of encouragement, things like that.
Thinking of my family, thinking of the people I didn't want to let down.
Those are the things that you know, get you through at the end of the day. It's the support that other people are giving you as you're going through, and just thinking about that.
You learn so much about yourself in this 21 days. I'm sure one of them days was yesterday where you looked inside yourself and you probably dug deeper than you've ever done before.
The Pyrenees really dealt us a tough set of cards.
I didn't expect it to be quite as different as it is to the Alps.
It feels very, very different. It feels like you're in a completely different country.
Climbs, a bit more spiky, they've got a bit more attitude. Yesterday we saw 4 seasons on one climb.
I mean, yesterday we were riding through the clouds for what was only sort of 50 or 60 kilometres.
The Alps cater for the skiers, so you find the roads a little bit more forgiving, especially when you've got like respites on bends. Pyrenees are a different animal. They don't seem to give you that respite on the corner, they go steeper, so you find yourself having to get out of the saddle just to get around the corner and then just getting back into a rhythm. So it's a different ball game altogether.
A very unique place that makes you challenge yourself, probably harder than the Alps because it's so unexpected, the challenges it throws at you.
The difference with the Pyrenees to the Alps that I've found here is just how wet it is.
Keeping warm was very challenging. On the descent yesterday I had 4 layers on and was absolutely frozen. Thought I'd get hypothermia, it was so cold.
The real problem today is it's cold, really cold. We've gone from 30 odd degrees the other day to 12, 13 degrees coming down there, which might not seem a lot, but when you're coming down at 15 plus mile an hour, it's really, really cold. Sorry, I'm shivering a bit.
Well, I'm wearing every single piece of clothing I have with me. I think just with the mist and just the general temperature, it's just been impossible to get warm. Even going up, I've been going up 4 layers on, gloves, and then just literally when you stop, that's it, you know, the core body temperature drops, and it's just really, really difficult to get your body temperature back up.
I've never been so cold in my life, I've never been so wet in my life, and I've never sweated so much in my life, all at the same time.
Everyone's really tired. Legs just don't really want to turn over.
Feeling extremely fatigued at the moment, I have to say. To be honest, at times I've wanted to fall asleep on the bike and just absolutely exhausted. You could tell from the moment we woke up that there was no bantering at breakfast, there was no talk on the bus. I think everyone is just exhausted.
People are getting very tired, so let's make sure we stay concentrated. We're careful, the damp roads, white lines, a lot of things to think about.
I don't think anyone who hasn't done this could really appreciate how difficult it is.
This has been really hard. This is not something that is a cycling holiday, as a lot of people seem to think we're on. It's incredibly challenging. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
The riders really pulled themselves through that. To get through the Pyrenees in the way they did with the bad weather, it was miserable at the top of the climb, we didn't get the views that we might have expected. It's just been stupendous. I think the most amazing aspect of the whole thing has been the determination of the riders to succeed.
We're coming into Andorra and there's some tunnels and we just shot straight through them, but just before the tunnel there was a little right-hand turn. We realised we missed this turning, so we stopped on a dual carriageway. We've got to walk 3k back up here to get back to the level, and I thought that ain't going to happen, so we had to roll back into the hotel. I've come all the way to complete the Tour de France and I've missed a tiny little segment out. I thought there's no way I can't do that, so following day was rest day. I thought I just got to go back and do it all on my own. It took about an hour and a half, but I'm really chuffed I did it, because if I hadn't done it I couldn't have said I've completed the whole of the Tour de France. So that 15k to me meant a lot.
Col de Portet just is misery.
16 kilometres at an average of 9%, so very steep, very challenging. We were probably halfway up the climb, maybe a little further. I think we were about 400 metres of elevation from the summit. We came out of the mist and there was the team bus there.
That's it. Right, so nobody's gone past that way, and there's a security guard telling them.
The road has been closed, so basically we can't go up there, we can't support the riders, so the riders can't go any further.
You can't go up, you can't not go on. Come on, do the math.
I'm not doing that.
It's not safe.
It's not, it was more dangerous on the last one.
I was fully energised. There was no way I wasn't going to go up that hill.
Everybody's all on one plane.
What's not safe about climbing?
What, you climbing there on your own and being on your own, and then no one here when you get back? Because that's what you're suggesting.
I'm absolutely determined to finish each stage, and to be told that you can't go and do the last 400 metres of ascent just wasn't going to happen.
They've shut it, and there's a security guard there telling them we can't go on. So that's not doing it, that's like being told we can't do it.
Yeah, it's a shame though.
So my emotional part of my brain took over. It was just one of those moments.
Towards the top of the climb, there were quite a lot of sheep and cows and horses and stuff kind of wandering across the roads. I lost my younger brother earlier this year. He was an animal lover. For the last 2 kilometers, I was thinking about him and thinking about how I wish I could take a picture and send it to him. I was obviously relieved to get to the top, but I think my emotion was more about thinking about my brother and how much I'd missed him and wished I could share that moment with him in some way.
One more climb.
I miss my brother so much.
I know.
I try to think about what we're raising funds for. That really helps me in not wanting anyone else to lose a loved one earlier than they should be.
It'll inspire you to do the next one as well. Yeah.
We want people to keep their family around. Thanks. I'm done crying now.
All good?
Maybe at the top again.
I'll see you there.
That's it, I've pushed myself.
You've pushed yourself beyond your limits.
My body's given up, my head hasn't.
Why I do this sort of thing is to try and figure out where my breaking point is, because I don't really think I have yet, and I hope I don't find it out in the next 3 weeks. Pretty much from day 2, I'd been having stomach issues really. It's a bit of a hang-up from the surgery I had from when I was having treatment for leukemia myself. It's more difficult for me to absorb high volumes of food. And obviously one of the things that you have to do when you're cycling as much as we've been for the last 3 weeks is consume a lot of food and consume a lot of sugar. And that basically set off quite prolonged gastrointestinal problems, which was pretty uncomfortable and meant that, you know, I wasn't really getting the nutrition in that I needed to be able to sustain all of the cycling that was being demanded. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised it didn't come along a little bit sooner. Somehow, you know, I dragged my body up that climb, and there were so many opportunities where I could have got in a car. I didn't want to get in because I saw that as quitting, and I was going to just keep going until I physically couldn't go anymore.
I feel like I've failed.
No, you haven't, Steve.
You have not failed.
Steve, you've been ill for 2 weeks, alright? You haven't failed in the slightest. You've tried harder than anybody else.
The easiest conditions,
Right?
is it?
You've tried harder than anybody else.
I was angry. Like, I came here to ride the full distance, and obviously I didn't do that, and to me that represented failure.
We can come back and have another go at this.
You're watching, you've got to donate to this.
Exactly.
Cure Leukaemia to Tour 21. This is what it means to me.
Is failure not reaching the summit because you missed it by 10 feet because the weather turned in? Is failure not achieving a particular goal or not being able to cycle around the next corner for whatever reason? You know, the fact that I'm here in the first place is a pretty big success. I think it's 20 years while we've been out here that I was did my last treatment and was told that I was, you know, cancer free as well. So yeah, it's quite a significant date, I suppose, for me personally.
July the 4th has always been a date that is like, I wouldn't say it's like a birthday, something to celebrate, but it's something that makes me remember why I'm doing things like this. I was diagnosed on July the 4th and told I had 3 months to live back in 2003. There's nothing more challenging than fighting for your own life, having chemotherapy and radiotherapy, experiencing that in the world of cancer and everything. We feel privileged to be here, and we do it for others. We do it for people who we've seen lose a battle, and we do it for people who are going to go through the battle in the future.
It's sad to see it end.
It's been a long day so far. It's been mentally, I think, a bit more challenging than we all thought it would be, because I think a lot of people felt we finished on the mountains yesterday. There are no easy stages on the tour.
There are no easy days, are there? No, definitely not.
Today's definitely proved that.
What's been a highlight of your day today, Ian?
I think I changed gear about 100 miles ago.
Yeah.
And this Magnum I've just finished.
I mean, the 4 bends in the last hour and a half was a particular highlight.
It's a very sad day.
It is. They've been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Stop throwing food. Naughty boys.
I'm glad that one landed.
Sad day.
All good things come to an end.
We've finished the Tour de France.
Everybody in the
Well, we always have to rehydrate appropriately, don't we? In line with government guidelines.
I can genuinely say my performance has improved a lot since we've been focusing more time on the evening stages.
You know, most of us will only do this once.
It's bittersweet to come to an end.
Here now, everyone's elated, euphoric. It's a wonderful feeling.
Just incredible. It's hard to know how to put it into words, really.
It hasn't even hit me yet. It's like I'm still trying to soak every moment in.
It's a really weird moment coming in. We're 10k away from the finish line.
realising that 2 years of training come down to the last 10k. It kind of gets you. It's amazing. I'm so pleased to get here.
Oh, the highlight has just been here and desperately trying not to cry and sob.
Mentally and physically, just completely drained. Emotionally, I'm just absolutely battered right now. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Hardest by a million miles, and never 1 second did I think it was going to be this hard. Like, so many times I could have got off the bike, wanted to get off the bike. So many mornings I've woken up and not wanted to lift my head off the pillow. So many nights I've laid on the pillow and I'll be honest, I've cried.
You can't understand the pain and discomfort of actually riding up gradients of 10, 11, 12, 13% and doing that day after day for 3 weeks. And no one, whether you're a cyclist or otherwise, can actually understand what it's like unless you go through it.
And so when things got really tough, I just sort of focused back in on the core reason as to why we were here and why we were doing it.
And to me, watching you do everything every day, going up mountains, putting yourself through pain, but at the same time raising such an amount of money in these hard times, it means an awful lot personally to me.
It's the most prestigious, it's the most well known, it's the most spectated, it's the hardest, the biggest endurance bike ride in the world. We're amateurs. So be immensely proud of what we achieved.
I've completed the Tour de France. Nobody can ever take that away from me.
I'm just so proud of the team that we've made it.
Just the camaraderie of the group has been absolutely exceptional. Everyone gets on, everyone supports each other, everyone's there for each other.
I said right at the start, we will become a team. We're a little bit more than that. I think we've become a family, all of us.
3,500 kilometres, 5 times Everest climbed, and £1 million in the bank for Cure Leukaemia. Can't get many better days than this.
£1 million means so much to Charlie Craddock and his team all over the UK. You've done so much, you've given so much, you've raised so much. I am so proud of every single one of you. It means so. Oh.
Go on, Jeff. Go on.
Go on, Jeff. Go on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. You've got this.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Do it. You got this.
It's only going to get bigger. Bigger is going to raise more money. It's going to save more lives quicker. And I've been there from 2003. There was nothing. There was nothing to give any hope to anybody diagnosed with blood cancer. If you couldn't find a match for a stem cell transplant, you were dead. I found a match. I sat next to too many that didn't find a match. You are given the opportunity of finding people that can react to the latest science that are delivering hope. I really want you to appreciate what you've done. You've not just done a bike ride, you've not just done 3 weeks of hell going up mountains, you've saved lives. Honestly, you've saved lives. And we continue to do this. It's not stopped yet. We haven't won yet. We will. Not too far away, because we've got some great people within the NHS and within Cure Leukaemia. So, from the bottom of this fella, thank you guys so much.
Thank you on behalf of all our patients for your extraordinary achievements in the last 3 weeks. So many of my patients have been following the battles that you've been through, have been inspired by your bravery, your persistence and your true altruism, raising this extraordinary sum of money that is going to genuinely transform treatment options for patients with blood cancer. We really are on the crest of a therapeutic wave, and so what you're doing by funding research nurses across the whole of the UK, building an internationally competitive trials unit so we access the most promising drugs as quickly as possible at an internationally competitive level, so that UK patients see these drugs earliest, and the UK's absolutely in the vanguard, the fight against leukemia. But we couldn't do it without you. We simply couldn't do it without you. All I can say from so many people in the UK who have been utterly inspired by your genuine heroism, your bravery, your generosity, is a huge thank you. And I'm hopeful that one day, soon, we can all meet up and in person toast your success, and also that you'll have a chance to meet the patients whose lives will be transformed by you and who are so keen, along with our doctors and nurses, to say thank you.